Hi guys, welcome to the Linux channel. So when you are building your own home lab or you are maintaining a lab, whether it is a small office or your home, one of the important things to monitor is the health of your hard drive. So I have exclusively shot a video in a way which with Linux you can monitor the health of the hard drive. But other than that, you can also do something like you can count or keep a log of total powered on hours because it is an interesting measure. It doesn't matter how many months before you have purchased a hard disk. It all depends finally about wear and tear, because these are physical devices which has mechanical moving parts, unlike an SSD. So it really makes sense to keep a track of total amount of hours it is powered on. So you can keep a log of all your NAS drives, of all your test equipment, and you can come to a conclusion anytime in case if you find there is a repeating pattern, a specific model drive which is crashing frequently. You can try to avoid, or you can just read additional information in the online what other users are facing with respect to this kind of a model hard drive access. So in Linux you can do in multiple ways. So I can show you how you can do in command line, as well as with a GUI tool like disks, as well as in case if you have a NAS. In my case I have a Netgear 4x NAS RN104 NAS system. With the NAS system also you can get smart attributes and you can fetch this information. So as you can see here, this is my Linux system, and you have a tool called disks. So what you can do is with this tool you can fetch its smart attributes. So you can go here, and currently as you can see it has only one drive which is installed. So you can go here and you can fetch the smart attributes. So it has a sort of error rate which you can ignore, because there is some sort of cable connectivity issue which later I sorted out, and I was really thinking the disk is gone, and I was not having a clue what is the real cause. And on top of it I was doing some device driver development, and there is a sort of mismatch wherein which I ended up populating some bytes in this specific device driver channel as a character device driver channel. So that's the reason it is having some sort of a glitch, but I can just ignore with the same because I know exactly what I'm dealing with. So other than that, it has various parameters, as you can see here, various smart attributes. So the most interesting thing which you can keep a track of is the power on hours. As you can see here, since it's a GUI tool, it converts the total hours into in terms of months or years and days. So in case if you have a command line utility, I tried with this utility to fetch directly in number of hours, but I'm unable to do the same. And other than that, it is also having an interesting count which also shows how many times the disk is being powered up, and so it shows the overall power cycle count. The same thing in a much better way you can do with the command line interface with an interesting tool called as Smart CTL, Smart Control. So with this tool what you can do is, let me just run this tool with less options. So if you run this tool, it shows immense amount of details. It shows various amount of logs. It shows some sort of temperature log of various snapshots taken at various timestamps, as you can see here. So other than that, you can also get the same time on hours. So you can just grep it with hours. So you can see here it shows power on hours, and it shows for this drive it is totally 3670. So you can take a calculator, and if you compute the total months you can just divide this value with 24 hours, and you can get the value of number of days it's been powered on, and from that you can derive the number of months. So in this way you can get this count much precise than the disks utility. And in case if you are not using a Linux system, I'm not sure about a Windows system, so because it's been like several ages before I used any Windows system. But other than that, in case if you have any NAS system like this, in this case I have a net device I'm sorry, in this case I have Netgear ReadyNAS system. So in this what you can do is, in case if you have Netgear, what you can do is you can fetch some amount of smart attributes by hovering your mouse on this drives. Okay, so in this situation you can't really have any control. There is no scroll bar or something where in which you can copy paste any value or something like that. So for that, what you can do is you can go to settings and disks, because I rarely do this, so I'm not sure exactly where to go. So in this case you can go to settings, in volumes settings, and in this you can see the option called disks, and here you can see it displays all the drives which are installed. So you can go one after another drive, and what you can do is you can fetch the similar smart attributes. Once again, as you can see here, it is not going to display the total power on hours. So for that, what you can do is you can go to performance. In the performance, if you go to this status, green status pointer or LED sort of it looks, I mean green status marker, because in case if there is a disk error or disk degradation or something like that, it will turn into a sort of orange or something like that. In case if the disk failure, then it will completely become into red or something like that. So as you can see here, it is quite difficult, because it just moves here and there with the mouse. But in case if you have the right control, you can just because it is not something where in which you can click and lock most of the times, but still what you can do is you can have this scroll bar. It will appear once you move the mouse cursor down. So with that, what you can do is you can get the value total power on hours. It is totally 4380, because this is one of my laptop hard drives, and I was using it for a laptop, and for time being I just installed in my NAS system. Of course, as you know, we are not supposed to use any sort of desktop drives in the NAS system, because the workload of a NAS system is completely different no matter whichever is the use case is. So it is highly suggested and recommended that you use strictly NAS drives for a NAS. So as you can see here, it's a desktop drive, and that's the reason its total power on hours is such large. And again, you can divide this value with 24, and you will get the total days, and from that you can derive total number of months and years in case if it is very large. So there is another drive which is quite new, unlike the other drive. So you can see here the total power on hours. It's actually a 3 TB. Once again, it's a desktop drive. It's totally powered on hours is 239, which is relatively less. And there's another drive. It is quite intermediately old, not so old, again not so new. And in this case, it shows the value as 331. And there is recently a drive which I replaced. This is a 4 TB NAS drive, Seagate NAS drive, and in this case it shows the total power on hours is just 40. So minus 24, it is going to be 1 day and a few hours in a way. So the reason is I don't keep my NAS system on all the time. Usually I just turn on few hours in a day when I need some sort of bulk backups, and in case if I need to pull anything from NAS to my desktop or any devices in my lab, I just turn on once in a while, and then I safely shut it down, and then I cover it with some sort of dustproof wrapper, so that it doesn't gets dusty and it doesn't have any sort of contact issues and things like that. Because as you can understand, this is not any dedicated lab or any temperature controlled room, and your having even on top of it dust filters and humidity controllers and things like that. So it is just any simple home lab. So in this case you need to take additional measures in terms of protecting your equipment, and because this is not anything like a simple home user, I really use this for backing up my important code and other test parameters and my software backups, and as well as in case I do these YouTube videos, I do take a backup of this entire video feeds in my NAS system. So in this case it is a lot more important so that the data is securely stored. At the same time it is also safely stored, and I may even reconsider. I'm even considering to get one more NAS and then sort of do a sort of sync in between both devices. And apart from that, you can also sometimes even buy a tape drive, and then you can buy a LTO drive compatible tape backup media, and then you can even take a long-term storage backups on top of it, because it's a lot more cheaper. The only downside of any tape media is it's a lot more expensive. It is a lot more capex involved, because you need to invest a huge chunk of money in investing in tape drives, versus its operating cost is very, very less, unlike a NAS system, as you can see here. So nevertheless, it is important you to keep a track of these parameters, because this is what exactly shows what is the true potential of a specific model of a hard drive in your usage scenario, because it all depends how you have used this system. It all depends in which sort of environment you are running your equipment. I stay in Bangalore, so in a year around 8 months it is quite cold, and relatively it is not too hot and not too cold. So the weather is also dry, so it is perfectly good. Whereas in case if you are staying near seashore, assume a place like Dubai or Italy, and even a US Bay Area or things like that. So it's a lot more humid, and it is also, you have this salt water and it is going to speed up degradation, and it is also going to speed up any sort of corrosion, especially your SATA contacts and things like that. So this is what it is quite important in case if you have your home lab equipment. You can keep a log, you can have a small database, you can keep a log of these devices along with their serial numbers and model numbers, and then you can keep a log of its purchase date, and its in case if it is expired, you can keep a log of its expiry date, as well as you can mark the total power on hour, so that it gives a sort of indication in terms of how you can proceed in future. So hope you guys liked watching this video. In case if you guys have any questions, please send me across in my YouTube comments or in my email. Thank you once again for watching this video, guys. Have a nice day. Bye bye.